We'll start with the mail. So if you go into your inbox, what we have here is, again, a list of our messages just like we'd had before, although in the blue system you're able to see a little bit of the message. Here it says Don Daines standard email, and you can read the first couple sentences here where it says, in order to improve communication with the outbound dispatch, there's a new form. I sent that message out a few days and it's still in my inbox here. Right below I have another email from Don Daines, and it is a standard email test from Don Daines, and that's all we have in there right now. Across the top we have our inbox, we have our saved messages, which my saved message is empty right now, my outbox, my sent messages, which I have 23 sent messages, and my drafts, which is blank and I don't have any drafts. The fundamental difference here is that it's going to act a little bit more like regular email, as in you can just keep things in your inbox and you don't necessarily have to save them. You can delete them directly from your inbox, or if they're a message that you want to hold on to, you could save them. But if you just leave it in your inbox and don't delete it, it will still be there. So you don't have to save all of your messages. Okay, so what we'll do now is on the left hand side, and it's kind of hard to see in the video here, but if that helps, basically what you have is, while we're highlighted, this email here is highlighted in darker, or we went down to this one, this test message here, I have it highlighted. I can go ahead and save that message. I could reply to it, delete it, or view it. Other options I have right here is the play button, which will play the email for me. Simply just press that.
Message from Don Daines, sent Monday, March 12, 2012.
I'll pause that for now as you get the gist. Now I have close on here, so I'm going to close this email to go back to my main emails. Other things I have on the bottom are, I'm trying to get a little bit of zoom on here. You have create an email right here. You know we deleted that shortcut from the desktop just a few minutes ago. It was probably an easy one to delete because it's available right here in our inbox if we want to create an email. You also have your forms where we can create or use the forms. We also have the address book where you could add friends and family in your address book so that they'll be able to email you. And the most important one is this one right here. It looks like a little house. That's what will bring you back to the home screen that we were at earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the house and get us out of the email. So it's pretty standard email. I think if you go in there and work around a little bit, you'll find out it's pretty easy to delete messages, save messages, and whatnot. Just as an example, I'll go back into the inbox. I have this test message. I highlight it. I use the delete button on this side of the keyboard right here of the screen. Would you like to permanently delete this message? Yes. And now that message has been deleted. Okay, so we'll go back to the home menu so we can talk about a couple of the other icons on here. Again, we have an icon on here called Saved Messages. That's just going to bring us right back into the inbox, into the mail, but it's going to bring us right to the saved messages. So that's another icon that maybe at one point we may want to just take off the main screen and replace with something else. I'm going to talk about engine data. If you go into engine data, you're all familiar with the Performx data. It's really not anything different than what you've been getting before, although the display is a little bit different. You can clear it and you can close it. It's got your average speeds, MPGs, and whatnot in there. You can go in there and check your ECM information. I'm going to close this. Brings me back to the main screen. I have fault codes. Again, you had fault codes on the other system, but on this one here, there's a little bit more detail, date and time, and has a little bit more information, as you can see, about the fault codes. So if you're having some problems with your truck and you're not wondering why it's not running right, maybe you can go in here and see if you've been getting any fault codes. We'll close this. And the log out screen will do just that. It'll ask you if you want to log out of the system. If you do that, you'll have to log back in to get in. We already talked about the settings. So now we're going to talk about navigation and Pecos. On the navigation,